Now let's talk about Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia. A lot of Pennsylvania stories today. So Jalen Hurts got the start, ran around, and won the game. So it's time for another edition of Let's Massively Overreact American Sports Media to a quarterback who runs better than he throws, and it's Monday, and he's going to change the NFL. Tim Tebow didn't, Kaepernick didn't, Taysom Hill's not, and Jalen Hurts is not. And Lamar Jackson's not. Unique, as we say multiple times a year. It always works. Always. The Wildcat worked. It just rarely lasts. And last night, the Saints were on their heels. They didn't know what to expect. They kind of sat back and said, all right, here's a bunch of plays we've never seen. And unique works. And Jalen Hurts, yes, was fun. He gave them an identity. The play calling, it was kind of synthesized down to the very core of what he does. Doug Peterson's like, this kid can move. Let's move him. And it's fun. And actually, Philadelphia's defense seemed to respond. They played great. But can the media stop constantly overreacting to unique in the NFL? Jalen is unique. He was the runner more than a thrower, but certainly like Taysom Hill, capable of throwing. But in the NFL, you watched that game last night, the Saints sat back. Let's be honest. Philadelphia didn't really know how their offense would work last night. They didn't know. So the Saints didn't know. And as I said last week, even if Jalen Hurts wins, it doesn't solve the bigger issue. You backed up a Brinks truck for Carson Wentz, and you owe him $100 million plus. Last night doesn't solve that. Maybe you can move him, maybe you can't. And here's the thing, though. With all young quarterbacks, and especially the quarterbacks that appear to be very fond and very special at the art of running, it's a progression. It's a series of boxes. So last night, Jalen Hurts checked the first. Can you win games? Check. He can win a game. The next box, can you win several games? Looks like he could. Can you win playoff games? So last night, the first box is checked. He can win a game. Now it's several and playoff games. Since the 1970s, something has always been true in the NFL. You got to sit in the pocket and throw to win. To win big. I mean, big. Conference championships, second round, Super Bowls. And that's just the way it is. Unique can work briefly, but you got to sit and throw the football. Last night, Jalen Hurts averaged about 5 yards a pass attempt and completed like 57% of his throws. Again, it's the first game. The timing could not have been great. It's the first time he's practiced as a starter all week. But congrats to Jalen Hurts. It was funny. We were watching Taysom Hill and Jalen Hurts. You're kind of watching a mirror image of each other. We're not sure if they're going to be franchise game. I thought the game was wildly entertaining. And Jalen added energy. I do believe Philadelphia feels like last night anyway, yesterday, it's a little bit of an identity. It's a little bit of an identity. And I'm happy for the kid. Congrats to Jalen, and for that matter, Taysom Hill. But let's not go crazy. Our job is to add a little bit of context to this. Of course, the Saints were a little lost. They'd never seen it. They didn't know it was coming. They were on their heels. And Philadelphia played with a purpose and identity and real defense. Good for the Eagles. Good day for the Eagles. So Tampa won. Yippee. But I think at this point, Tom Brady's standards are above winning games. That game against Minnesota looks a lot different if Minnesota had a good field goal kicker. It would look a lot different. Totally different. Off a bye, Tampa Bay had 17 first rounds, 20 minutes time of possession, and Tom Brady completed 15 throws. Off a bye against an average Minnesota defense that average quarterbacks have run up and down the field on. Listen, what I'm about to say is a reality. It's not a criticism. It may be viewed as both. Everybody loves Bruce Arians. He's a great guy. I mean, they asked Freddie Kitchens, remember the Cleveland coach, when he got the job? He worked with Arians. What do you remember about him? And he honestly said, he makes the best cocktail. I mean, it's funny. I don't want to hear that. So Bruce Arians retired once. Why? He was tired of the long hours. He went to CBS to be a broadcaster. He did a good job, but he never really fully committed, and it showed. And then he goes to Tampa, and he has built the biggest staff in the league to limit the grind. It's starting to show. If you look in the NFL, every other weekend, you're facing a Kyle Shanahan, a Sean McVay, a young Matt LaFleur, a Cliff Kingsbury, a Joe Judge, a Brian Flores, young, energy, relentless, 18 hours a day, living it, breathing it, consumed by it, and the energy to handle it. If you're not putting in 18 hours a day, you don't get to see your kids' recitals. It's Zoom meetings. You're going to get exposed really fast in tech and even faster in the NFL. Tampa Bay has one impressive win all year. They've plateaued. They're fine. They're not bad. But they're not cleaning up their stuff. They're not cleaning it up. This is why they're inconsistent. I know Tom Brady's obsessed, but I also know Bruce Arians has retired once, has the biggest staff. I saw the broadcasting thing. Doesn't mean he can't coach. But this league, there are just certain positions that are built for young guys. Too many hours. He's got 5, 6 assistants on the offensive side, and he's an offensive guy. He's got layers of different offensive coaches. I watched yesterday. They still don't have an identity. All Tampa is a collection of talented players. They got a country club feel. And the Buffalo Bills are guys that are playing on a public course, that want to get to the country club, that are hungry to get to the country club, that are putting in the hours to get to the country club, that are sacrificing to get to the country club. But the Bills are on that public course, and those teams on that public course, they are just putting in hours, chasing and chasing. Mike Evans started his career. His first 6 years in his career, he had 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons with Josh McCown, with Mike Glennon, with Ryan Fitzpatrick, with Jameis Winston. He's not close there with Tommy. Come on now. You see this. Like, it's not a shot at anybody. It's a reality of what they are. Off a bye. It's a lot of talk. It's a lot of chatter. It's a lot of country club stuff. I just don't see the edge here at all. I thought it was an unbelievably startling win. If the Vikings just have a field goal kicker, this game looks completely different. I've seen Andy Reid's teams off a bye. If they got issues, they cinch them all up. I've seen Sean Payton's teams with chaos and backup quarterback and off a bye, and they cinch that stuff off. I've seen Sean McVay's team off a bye, and they clean stuff up. This should be easier. You got Brady, the most obsessed football player of all time, and off a bye. You lose that game if the Vikings have a field goal kicker. You do. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.